The Underdog Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Keep on persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's the underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is big of it.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the bang. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believe in, like, I took so many risks to make this thing happen. You know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like, I just, like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down.
All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
Feel the bangers. Feel the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off if she could I can reread.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdogs Podcast. We back again with another one. Straight up. Man, I'm feeling like Kobe right now, playing with an injury. You feel me? I had to get it together, man, but we back, man. Had a little hiatus, man, family business, but we've been getting it in, man, making it happen. But this is season 4, episode 17, Make the Unseen Scene, featuring Nigerian American artists based in Atlanta. UGO Agora, founder of UGO Fine Arts. I'm going to bring him in right now, man. I already know how we do.
What's going on?
What it do, brother?
Quick correction, real quick. It's pronounced UGO.
UGO. Okay.
UGO, yes, sir.
UGO. Yeah, man.
Yes,
you know
sir.
my southern dialect, man. But words be dragging a little bit. But yeah, okay. So we got UGO. We got UGO in here, man.
UGO. Yes, sir.
Okay, UGO. So yeah, my guy, welcome to the podcast platform, man. You know it's an honor to have you on.
Appreciate you. Glad to be here.
Most
definitely. So what's going on? What you got for me?
Well, yeah, man. Like I say, it's an honor to have you on the schedule. But first and foremost, man, as we push the importance of knowing ourselves, man, who is UGO as a person outside his artistry?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a bit of a journey figuring that out. I feel like when I started taking my work more seriously, it's almost like I got lost in it to the point where there was no distinction between UGO, the artist, and UGO outside of my artistry. You know, I'm just now getting to a phase where I'm trying to fall back in love with the things that I was in love with before diving headfirst into my work. So, but the essence of who I am, you know, just a caring dude, likes to show love, give love, create, and watch other people create. You know, I like to have a positive outlook on the world around me and the people that I have next to me. So I try to have that exemplified in everything that I do. That's the long and short of it for now.
Most definitely, man. It's like you gotta have, you know, the positive thoughts and the positive vibes, man. Because when you just look at simple terms of negative energy, positive energy, you know.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely.
2022, that helped you prepare for 2023.
Sorry, repeat that question.
What are some things you learned in 2022 that helped you prepare for 23?
Ooh, I think this one's kind of easy. Stop spreading myself too thin. To be honest, I was working freelance for a good bit, and I kind of was just trying to jump at anything that was giving me an opportunity, trying to make some money.
Right.
And for a second, I believe that I started putting myself into things that weren't actually my strongest suits. You know, and I was still just trying to get through it. You know, just trying to make ends meet and everything like that. So learning to stick to my guns and butter, really get to the nitty gritty of what it is I want and what it is I want to be creating, how I want to be using my time and my energy.
Most definitely, man. So with that even being said, as we like, a little past the halfway marker in 23, like, how has this year been treating you thus far?
It's been a good year, to be honest. Mostly for my mental space and my heart space. I feel like I've really been able to settle myself in a bit of a more intentional direction, whether it comes to my life, my finances, or whether it comes to my artwork and the ethos behind my artwork, why I create, and the mediums I create with. I'm really trying to focus in, hone in, and I think this has been a good year for that. Yeah, it's been really positive. I've been able to change a lot of my previous ways of thinking. Yeah, I'm still currently working on that, but just learning how to take that monkey mind, those random thoughts, those intrusive thoughts that come to me, and change them once they come to something more positive, something more progressive and constructive. That's been a big deal for me this year.
Nah, that's a lot of power right there, man. Already to acknowledge it first and foremost, and then take control. Like that's the biggest thing. So Atlanta-based artist, raised in Marietta, but your roots are Nigeria.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I
So,
was. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, were you originally born here, or like you moved here from Nigeria?
No, I was born in Nigeria, actually, Lagos,
Okay.
Nigeria. I moved here with my family when I was about maybe 3, 4 years old. So I mean, pretty American at this point.
Yeah.
So I've been able to go back a few times in my past.
Right.
The last time being in 2021, stayed for about 9 months, and that was cool. A really beautiful experience. Was able to really tap into my cultural roots. Really be able to tap into just my home away from home. Really develop that for myself. So
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, so how is your perspective, of America like compared to Africa? Like, obviously it's cultural differences and everything, like, and you already said you go back a little often, but what's the kind of difference you see?
I think one of the biggest things I saw initially off the top was the difference in the camaraderie between strangers. I felt like here in the West is a bit more of an individualistic mindset. I got to get it, I got to do this, I got to do that.
Yeah.
But over there, what I experienced was like someone could treat or speak to me like a brother, whether they were upset at me or happy with me. But when a brother's upset at you, you're gonna say how it is,
Right?
Because that's family. So I saw a lot of that there, regardless if I knew a person or not. There's a more of a group thinking mindset. Like we all got to make it in a sense. Of course, there's some insecurities in certain places, but when you struggle together, I feel like it creates a stronger bond. So
most definitely,
there's a lot of that I saw, and I think that's the biggest thing for me that I took with me, that sense of camaraderie and brotherhood, sisterhood. I'd like to be able to take all that and bring it here. Another thing that I saw that was really heavy for me as an artist was the work ethic of the artists out there. Like when I tell you, that shit made me want to put my paintbrush down.
Yeah.
So let me see what they're doing a little bit, and I want to big them up. I want to see if I can help put them on the map a little bit, because the work that they're doing is wild, like hard work, dedication. People painting out here too, definitely. People really creating, but to be under some of the circumstances that some of those artists are over there, and still be able to rise up and create what they create, is a beautiful thing.
Nah, that's what's up, man. I feel like that's the most important aspect of it, though. Is like you say, everybody coming together on one accord, instead of just all for me or myself, or just thinking about myself. Like, I feel like that'll change a whole lot just over here in general, especially culturally.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Collaboration is the way to go right now. I feel like
Yeah,
in any field that you're in, I think rising together is really the key to longevity in a sense. You know, they say when the let me make sure I don't say this shit wrong. Um, when the water levels rise, all the boats rise with it, type of thing. You know, so
hmm
we're all in this together. You know, we got to big each other up, and we can't be afraid of a peer having success. You know, because their
that's right.
success means my success.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head because it's really just a sense of everybody bringing all their talents and skills together. Like what one knows how to do that another does, and it creates um it creates more success that way.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly, and that
so
even
for
ties. Okay,
oh no, you continue.
I was say that just ties back into my thoughts of spreading myself thin, trying to do everything,
Yeah,
knowing that I got certain strong points. Let me focus on that, and let me collaborate with somebody else to bring their strong points into whatever project I'm creating, and really make the best out of our skill sets. You know, I think that's a key that's a key factor in any real creative endeavor. Like we're not in it
definitely.
alone.
It's like iron sharp iron.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
so for those who haven't visited Atlanta, like what are some of your go-to places when you have like downtime to either hang out, or just go grab something to eat?
Okay, I'm not gonna. I'm a bit of a homebody,
Yeah.
so when it comes to going out, it's art shows, art
Mhm.
events, and maybe every once in a while some like light drinking spots. But it's really art events. I love going to Mint Gallery, the Arts Exchange. Ooh, Peachtree Station. That's a key. Peachtree Station, owned by Maya Bailey. That's a beautiful place to go to be exposed to creatives, arts. They got live jam sessions on Wednesdays. Ooh, and Gallery 992. That's another second home for me. Um, Live jam sessions on Sundays, figure drawings on Wednesdays. Like just a good place for creatives. So anywhere where the creatives is at is where I want to be at.
Yeah,
Pretty much, you know.
most definitely. So today you're a multi-faceted artist that has works done. All right, we bet. Yeah,
Hello.
man. So nah, I
Yeah, yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit it out though when we actually do the when I actually upload it, but it's all good. So like I
No
say, you're a
worries, no worries.
multi-faceted artist, that's done working oil, charcoal, graphite, copy maker, and digital. So around what age did your passion for art come about? What was that moment like for you? Take us back to one of your earliest memories.
Ooh, okay. So I'd say I've been drawing all my life, and of course, just at the beginning, it was just whatever I was interested in: cartoons, anime. I'm not gonna lie, Dragon Ball Z was a big go-to.
Yeah,
Uh,
for real.
Drawn characters like Goku. I think one of my
Hmm.
most drawn characters at the time was Krillin, because he was bald and he was easy to draw. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
that was the beginning of me. I remember in like fourth or fifth grade, I was drawing so much I started making a compilation of my drawings that I was going to make into a coloring book for my classmates, and that was like my first real big like artistic endeavor. Taking my artwork, I gave it to my mom, try to have her photocopy them for me. So I just had just like piles of all my drawings, black and white, so my classmates could color them in. So
that's hard.
yeah, that stuck with me heavy. But I didn't. After that, I didn't really take my work as seriously. Of course, I kept drawing, but it wasn't until maybe 2015.
Hmm.
I was a biology major at Kansas State, and I was in my math class, and I was zoning out, just in the margins of my notebook, sketching, coming up with new original ideas. And I'm like, damn, hold up. All this time I've just been drawing what I see and what other people have already drawn that I like, but I got ideas of my own that I can bring out to life.
Right.
So after I realized that, took some time off of school and spent some time trying to cultivate a little bit of that seed that I saw in myself. By the end of about 6 months, ended up going back to school, changing my major to fine arts, double majoring for a while, and just knocking out, making myself seen in the Atlanta community, um, putting my work in art shows, curating my own art shows. Um, it's just been a nice journey.
Most definitely, man. So what kinds of things like you do to get your creative juices flowing when you start a new piece?
Whew. There's a wide range of things. Like inspiration comes from so many different areas. One of my initial inspirations, besides other visual artwork, is music. Music is real heavy for me. Artists, I like to listen to artists that have a lot of substance because I pull from that substance for my own work as well. Again, it's like a collaboration of ideas. I don't got to think of everything myself. If something I'm listening to really pulls me, starts resonating, I get chills or something from a line, a verse, I'll write that verse down. I might not come back to it for months, but I'll keep it in my notebook. Or if at that time I do have imagery that already comes to me, I'll do a quick little sketch, call it a thumbnail sketch. A little small, maybe like 3x3 little sketch, something like that, maybe 2 or 3 of them. Come back to them a little later, flesh them out, write some other ideas, put some words together about the concept of why I'm creating it. Then I'll either blow it up or I'll have a little notebook like this, do a little 11x14 drawing, or I'll put it on canvas and I'll make a big painting out of the small. I don't know what shape I was making, but out of the small sketches that I do.
Hella like a rhombus.
Yeah, something like that. Get my geometry right. But that's it. Like music, I'd say I've listened to a lot of audible books lately, and that's been good for me as well. I'll be at work working on one project as I'm hearing different lessons, different sources of inspiration from the audibles. I'll just write them down like how I do the lyrics. Between those two things and just being present in life, allowing myself to go out and experience the beauty of other people, the beauty of nature speaking to me. I'll pull from that a lot. Colors I see out in the open when I'm outside. I do a bit of photography as well, so that's kind of grown into a life on its own. Just capturing the beauty of what God's already put on this earth. So that would be it. Just about.
Yeah, that's what's up. Because it's like with music is art as well. In its own lane, and then photography is another form of art. It's like art is speaking to you visually. Music, you can hear it. It's more like a senses thing almost.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to get into my tactile arts too. I'm trying to get the feels going on. I'm trying to see what other senses I can really affect through my artistry. I started practicing something called shibari, which is a Japanese rope tying art. It's mostly about design and a bit of submission, intimacy, and within that, I feel like I've been able to tap into a bit of the tactile senses realm of artistry. The feel of the body, the feel of the rope, the emotional exchange, the connection. It's all been really, really big for me. I've really loved delving into that and growing into that as well.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Like it's like you really just talent stacking,
Bro. It's a gift and a curse too. I have so many interests. I just be jumping around. I'd love to be able to drop something and go some completely different avenue and just lose myself a little bit. And within losing myself, I find a little bit of myself that I didn't know that I needed for another project. So in some senses, I feel very multidimensional. Unbounded by time. I feel like I collaborate with different versions of myself, different timelines of myself. and and that's just a real mystic feeling that I get that I love.
Nah, I like how you said that. That's dope. Cause it's like still the inner child that started drawing is still showing that he's still coming back to you.
Yeah,
Like he's nothing.
I don't want to throw nothing away, man. It's all parts of me.
Yeah.
But in that same breath, I do feel like learning to focus on something is a bit important too. So
Yeah.
I am in a phase where I'm trying to figure out, okay, what medium right now tells my story the best, and then honing on that. I'm gonna still let myself, wander a little bit, but being able to fence in the majority of my time doing the thing that fits and tells my story the best, I think will be very, very beneficial for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing the direction that takes. I got at least 3-4 projects now that I'm working on in different mediums. And I'm like, damn, like my head is just everywhere.
Yeah.
So I gotta zone, hone in and figure some things out really. But it feels good. It's a good journey. I'm appreciative of where I'm at and where I'm going.
Most definitely, man. And definitely going, man. Like I say, from the exhibitions, where I seen you at as well, at the Future Dead Artists Gallery.
Yeah. Yep. Future Dead
Yeah.
Artist by Eugene Bird. I saw he had an episode on here
Yeah.
a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, real cool guy. Really a man of the community and a man of the arts. Mentor like figure, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that exhibition was dope. It was dope. I displayed a sculpture, a golden sculpture, and one other marker piece. That sculpture I'm actually working on right now, doing a limited series of 3 variations. It was a gold sculpture. Right now, I can show you right now. This is drying, but
okay.
I'm working on black version of it. All black.
That's tough.
So I done molded it, casted it, and now I'm going over it with light layers of a black wash to get like a black wash and ink to get a really deep black color that's supposed to represent, in a sense, black excellence, black glory. The glorification of the human body. This one specifically, the feminine body.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's going to be a series of 3 different colors. I have the black, I have the gold, and I have the pearl that's coming in too. So those are going to be showcased.
I know that pearl going to be hard too. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. So come the 23rd at Concept House, there's an exhibition called Signature, curated by Sakari Sanders. And it's going to be a good one. A lot of heavy hitters in that exhibition. So the 23rd, you can stay tuned for that. I can send you that information a little later. But
definitely
get this out of the way for now. I can read this right here.
So, do you think that creativity is part of human nature or something that must be like learned?
Oh, it's most definitely part of human nature. I feel like it's just your view on creativity that might change what you feel about it yourself. But we've been being creative since day one. We're made after the image of God, and God is the biggest creator out there. So there ain't no way we can get to this place where we're at now without being able to tap into that creative self. Now, whether we call ourselves artists or not, a whole nother story. That just depends on how you focus your creative energies and what you're trying to create. But even creating a business is an art form. So I definitely say we're all creators. We just got to tap into it a different way.
Right. It's more of like making a thought become tangible. Like I can see, touch, and feel this.
Exactly. Or listen to it. Shoot, like what you got going on here, you've created something beautiful. You're really bigging up your community, spreading the word of people who you feel like have virtues. So I'd say even within that, you're a dope ass creator, dope ass artist.
Hey, bro, I appreciate that, man. Like I say, we, for no names or people on the rise or to come up, I feel like everybody got $1 million story to tell. Like we all got experiences in life, that get us to the point, where we either have happiness or we doing what we like to do. Like it's all a journey, but it's a journey of lessons that if somebody's going through the same thing you may have went through, an obstacle or whatever, your story might help them pivot, because they might be stuck at that place in time where you once were,
Yeah. That's the beauty of being vulnerable. and being able to share,
Yeah.
that openness and that having an open heart like that and being able to pour out from that. People need that way more than you even think. You don't know who's going to touch, and that's something that I experienced firsthand when I started writing. I started sharing my writings. I started just hearing people's responses to certain experiences I've had or insights or viewpoints. It's made me realize that big importance in sharing, being open, and letting someone in. Letting someone into you or letting your insides out. Goddamn, either one. However you
Yeah.
gotta do it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are more vulnerable now with social media going on, as far as like, letting their truth just be, because everybody feels like, I guess they're gonna get attacked or whatever, the case may be by people.
Yeah.
But let's say if you got a, got a good purpose or a message behind something, why not?
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I do believe there is such thing as oversharing sometimes.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you're gonna have both ends of the spectrum. So
Yeah.
once you open something up, you got to be ready for anything. Anyone gonna say anything, and it is what it is. So that's why also being able to curate the type of information that comes to you is really important as well. You say you are what you eat, and what we
Yeah.
eat, not just the food that we take in, it's the information, it's the imagery that we put in our minds, and that ties into the importance of good artistry. I feel like we work visually, so if we can put some beautiful images into the minds of the people, they can see themselves in the way that they hadn't seen themselves before.
Yeah, you keep going, bro. I hear
you. We're recorders of history. We tell the story how it is or how we see it. Make people feel something. Try to spark up emotion to make a change. I would love to see more artists get into the realm of leadership in their communities and more worldwide communities. I think that's something that's really important. I feel like a lot of true artists have something really good in their hearts. At least the ones I've experienced personally.
Yeah.
So to see them step out of just artwork and get into something even like politics, like I'm not heavy into politics myself, but being able to see somebody who can take the good things that they learn, delving deep into that underside of themselves, and to pull out whatever they learn from that darkness and put it into the art is one thing, but be able to take that and make policy with that as well, I feel like that would be really powerful. Really, really powerful. I was actually heavily inspired seeing Kanye run for president.
Right.
Yeah, people might say, he's not gonna be a good president. This isn't that he crazy. I don't care. The fact that he put himself out there like that, I think was the important thing. Not whether he won, not whether he even had a chance of winning.
Right.
But to show people, show creatives, oh, we got more that we can do, was what I feel like the heavy purpose of that was. Or at least maybe that wasn't his purpose, but the lasting effect of that was.
Oh yeah, he
I
definitely
want to see more of that. Shoot, if Donald Trump can be president, why not? But it's just here or there. It's cool.
But yeah, man, just like how they tried to paint the narrative like of Africa back then to us and try to show us that, okay, the rural places of Africa in the whole is just poor and everything like that always visual representation. Like,
oh yeah,
it was just crazy, man.
And it goes on both sides too. Like,
yeah,
being here as long as I have, being from where I'm from, I definitely got the experience of hearing how Black people specifically were portrayed to Africans, Nigerians in particular, and then also hearing how Black Americans were seeing Africans. I got a lot of those questions growing up, like, oh, do y'all live in huts? Y'all live in mud houses? This and that. But in the same breath, I would see, Nigerian, the older Nigerians also feeling away because of the way that Black Americans were portrayed on the media to them. you know, thinking that they were like, you know, at some point uncivilized, just doing all
Nah,
this like gang shit, you know. But again, it's really the information that's fed into you, the propaganda, you know. So
right.
it's like they'll pin us against each other, and it's
Yep.
whoever they is, you know, powers that be,
Right.
whoever's in control of the media and all that shit. So it's just trying to look past all that, find the truth behind all the propaganda, and not letting this random information just dictate how you're going to move in life towards anybody.
Right.
Giving a person a chance to prove themselves, show themselves to you first before you telling them who they are.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. The indoctrination is definitely and I see why they, you know, they purposely attack kids versus people that can think of their own, you know, adults. You know, kids is more fragile, so you know, you feed them all that creates a certain mind frame of thinking. Like,
Oh yeah, they're sponges. They're sponges.
yeah.
Pick it up real fast.
It's like right now, everything going on, they don't really care about us in specific. When we sit there and look at all the agendas and how it's pushed towards, you know, the youth, it's like it's crazy. But I got a better understanding though, you know, with age. So if you had the chance to live during a different artistic movement other than now, which one would you choose?
Oof. I think the Renaissance would have been a wild period to live in.
Yeah.
The artistic Renaissance. I feel like the competition at that point in time, in terms of just skill level, it's gonna push anybody to want to do better. Either you want to do better, or you want to quit. So, and I don't like to think of myself as a quitter. So I like to think that I would rise to the occasion.
Yeah, that was definitely a different time.
Yeah, Renaissance period. I want to have some peers like Michelangelo.
Yeah.
But you know, think about those. A lot of those artists, they weren't just painters. They did a lot of other things, like, you know, whether it's Michelangelo, whether it's Raphael, whether it's Leonardo. But they were all so multifaceted. Some of them even scientists, you know, experimenters, engineers. I think there was a beauty in that, being able to pull from a completely different field,
Yeah.
and enhance and inform your artwork, your life experience. So I think that would be it for me. The Renaissance period.
Yeah. That's like mastering other things that's not even parallel to what, you know, like art.
Yeah.
Art and being a mechanic, maybe. It's just like, or you know.
Absolutely. Get into something completely different. See where it takes you, see where it brings your mind, and
yeah,
pull from that experience and bring it into your other bag.
So
again,
with that,
like,
even
okay,
go ahead.
It's just like collaboration with different forms of yourself.
Yeah, that part. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing too. Like, you know, as people age and everything, it's a non-consistent process of learning yourself. So it's like that's why they say it's never too late type of vibe, because you can always pick up new skills and unlock new areas of yourself. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely want to consider myself a lifetime learner. I don't think I'm ever going to stop wanting to improve myself, whether that be in just mind space, personality, creativity, technique. Some has always got room to improve. So,
yeah. Most definitely. So what traits, if any, do you think that creative people have compared to people who are not creative?
The ability to connect the dots. That's the biggest thing, I think. The ability to see correlation where it looks like there's no way that these two things can match up, you know. Collaboration of ideas. Those are the traits that I feel like creators are really able to tap into. Yeah. Connecting dots, making connections where no one else would ever see a connection. That's where we really find breakthrough.
Yeah, surfacing that idea, like you said, nobody was even thinking that was possible, and he just somehow put it together.
Exactly. And once it's put together for that first time, that's a whole nother level of ability that the rest of the world now has. Our consciousness has been affected. Once one person does it, many people will come afterwards, and then it's gonna keep a steady level up until the next breakthrough happens, and then everyone gets on that same wave. And the next one, and so on.
So, do you feel like as an artist, that's the level where you're trying to at least get with your artistry, to where you make the impossible possible, and now your work is talked about 50 years, 100 years later, like you made that mark to where you did that one thing that was impossible, and now it's being mimicked and resurfaced, and it's like one of those things, like the next artist that's coming, upcoming artists look up to your work like that, like he was the one that did that.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, because honestly, when I've been creating, I haven't thought of, I want to create something so new,
right,
or change the status quo of how people are doing art. I just wanted to find, my own flow.
Yeah.
And that could be something that someone else is already doing. I'm not really as focused on like creating a new technique in how I paint, as opposed to just taking techniques that already exist and applying it to my practice in the way that fits me. And maybe within that, something new will come out.
Right.
Within that combination of different techniques within my practice. And if that happens, great. I love it. If not, I'm just going to keep creating beautiful imagery, and see what comes from there.
Yeah,
but
I feel that.
I would say, though, I do have the goal of creating something that feels timeless, in a sense, with any medium that I'm using. That is something I would like to do. But it takes time. Art compounds on itself. So the more I just show up for myself and build on what I created yesterday, the better off I'll be. So try not to focus so much on the end result. It's just showing up, staying consistent for myself.
Yeah, consistency is everything. That's what the real success really is. It's just sticking to it and applying yourself.
Yeah. 100%.
But nah, I definitely feel that too. Is every person that's a creative or a creator wants to like find themselves where like, this is mine. Like when you see it, this is mine. Like my originality. Like you said, it might have 2-3 different other. You might have started from like ideas, like, okay, I put these 2 ideas together, 2 different. It might be one art piece here that's probably in Spain and England that you came across, and the art piece over here in America, and you just put those 2 ideas together and added your own originality. Now it's a whole new piece.
Bro, that's all art is, really. It's because like they said, nothing new's created under the sun.
Right.
So the only thing that's different is the combinations of things that we put together. Our emotions, someone else's painting style, your subject matter. That's a whole new piece. Ain't nobody ever seen that before. It's how to steal like an artist. And I think always make sure to give credit as well.
Yeah.
Giving credit for the inspiration that you get doesn't take away from the creativeness of your artistry. Honestly, it bigs you up even more. It shows your honesty, it shows your sincerity, and it shows the truth of what creating is. We're not all in this by ourselves. We build what we build off the glory of the giants that came before us. The glory of the creative, the human beings that set up what we got here right now. I wouldn't be painting like this if someone didn't think of how to mix pigments to create oil paint. Right. I know I sure as hell wasn't going to think of creating oil paint. I would have been stuck with my pencils. So, just again, just building, showing up, and collaborating with other people who are building and showing up. Recognizing that, giving credit where credit is due, and Just loving life, loving expression.
Most definitely. So, what is the ultimate messages in your, your pieces and your creative expressions?
Okay, that's a good question too. Um, my art has been didactic, and what that means is that didactic just means it teaches you something, right?
Right.
So whether I'm actually teaching, trying to teach information that I think people should know, or whether I'm just teaching myself more about myself, I feel like that's been really big for me. I like to create within something I consider the divine aesthetic, is the good, um, the true, and the beautiful. So those things, those three things, I feel like inform my work heavily. Um, I express veneration for those things by creating things that represent truth, that represent beauty, and that represent the good in this world. Um, Showing intimacy, close relationships, and connection, I think is a big part of the ethos of my work. Sometimes that's just the connection to myself, and that falls into the realm of
Man,
consistency.
so, what part of you do you share in your projects though when you're working on these pieces?
Mm.
Any personal experiences?
A lot of times it's my perspective that I share in my artworks. Um, I've recently tried to share a bit more of me as a person, but that's been a bit of a journey because the the intimacy and the vulnerability to do that, to share who I am um, in a world where I feel like everyone's watching me, is it can be a bit difficult. So I've started off with just my perspective on how I see the outside world, um, but of course I can't do that and then really call myself a true artist that dives into the depths of his experiences if I don't tell more about who I am. And sometimes it just comes out so subconsciously in my artwork. Like I know that some pieces I've created, thinking I created it based off of an emotion I felt from someone else or something that was done to me, and then the artwork would just keep coming back into my awareness. Like I'll finish it, I'll put it away, not thinking too much of it. But then either it would be requested in an art show, or people will keep comments on it, or like bringing me back to it and bringing it back to my awareness. Like, I'm like, damn, this is making me think about this piece in a different way. It's making me think about my connection to the piece in a different way. I've been looking at the piece, I'm like, is that me in that piece? Like looking at the facial features and the structures and thinking like, I didn't think I was drawing myself. I didn't think that this character that I've created had to do with anything about who I was. I thought I was creating who I've seen out in the world, but there's always a little piece of you that shows. Um, so yeah. I think expressing myself and who I am is something I do have to delve a bit deeper into, and not be scared of what other people think about who it is that I'm showing up as. So,
I feel that, man. So do you believe that it's important to be accepted by others as an artist, or is just doing what you love? Is that like good enough to justify your work?
artists like to say that they don't care about being accepted. They just want to be who they are and do all this. But we're all human first before we're artists, and the basis of human existence is acceptance, is moving as a group. So anyone who says that they don't care about being accepted, either they're just, I think they either so just fall up some deep dark cave, or they capping, because there's something you want to be connected to. You want to feel some type of acceptance somewhere, um, even if it's not a big group. Maybe one or two people who you look up to, who you just want to be seen by. We all want to be seen. We all want to be loved, and that's a lot of the basis between why we do anything that we do.
I feel that, man. So do you feel that, with art, like um that you chose your passion or did it choose you?
Mm. It's a good question. I feel like there's been a good middle ground of both. Because like I said, I've been drawing all my life, but it wasn't until I made the intention to take my work more seriously. Yes, God gave me this gift, but I choose whether I want to use it or not.
Facts.
It's been put into me. I have inclination. I have an affinity towards creating, towards being skillful. But how much I want to delve into that, how much I want to showcase it to the world, I want to give back of my own talents. That's up to me. So I would say that art came to me, was like, hey, I'm here for you to choose me. If you want to choose me, then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna choose you. I think that's more of what it was, more of a conversation.
Facts, man. So what distinguishes you from other artists in the art world that you feel?
Oof. My breadth of experience, my breadth of mediums, my demeanor, who I am as a person, I think as well, how I connect to other people. I believe being able to connect to people is a gift within itself. Being able to collaborate, being able to know greatness, know your own greatness, yet still be humble. And just a willingness to learn, a willingness to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, or myself specifically. I think that makes me a bit different. My outlook on the world and what it means to live from the heart, and how that seeps into my artwork is a big bit of how I see myself differently from other artists.
That's what's up, man. So if you have experienced creative blocks, like how do you overcome them? Do you have any techniques or so when you get over that hurdle?
A couple things. I step away. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got like 35 unfinished paintings right down here. So when I get to a creative block within a specific piece, and this might be a detriment sometimes as well as something positive, but I'll just put that shit down and move on to the next one. And if I have something, I have some. If I don't, one thing I've had to learn is let myself just be. I don't always have to be creating something. I just need to sometimes just be present and live life and learn what it is to live life. And then I can come back to a painting with a fresh new mind. I feel like we can't create unless we're experiencing life, experiencing love, experiencing hatred, all the range of emotions. So I'd say that taking a step away a lot of times is the biggest thing that we need. We need to be informed a little bit more sometimes. I don't think that you should try to have all your shit together before you start trying to create a piece. But I do feel like sometimes along the lines, there's other little bits and pieces of ingredients that you need to pick up to add to the piece. So I might start a piece today based off of a couple bits of information that I might not be able to finish it for another year, just because there's something that's missing for me that I want to add to it, but I don't know what yet. And I can't really think about it. I can't go looking for it.
Right.
Life, and it comes to me.
Sound like you just let it just come organically and just, don't force the creative thought. Just let it come when it comes.
Let it come, yeah. And, also, but not waiting for inspiration is important, which is why I say, like, just showing up and having at least something that you do while you're showing up, I think is important. Because, maybe you don't know what you want to add to this piece, but you can work on something else. You can do a little sketch. You can do a warm-up that's going to keep that consistency up, keep that habit up.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. So even on like me doing music, being an artist too, is like when I have moments where it's like I don't force myself to write. Like I said, I'd be like, man, sometimes you gotta experience life, take a minute and just go hang out or go through something and then come right back to it. It's just like when you try to sit there and force it, it's like, man, you just frying yourself,
Yeah, man.
I
definitely think that, but I don't know what type of exercise you do in terms of rewriting. Like, do you ever try to write to a prompt or anything like that? Do you ever try to?
Mm,
Because if you can't think of something at the moment, if you're at that writer's block type of stage,
right.
do you just drop it and leave it alone? Be like, okay, let me go live life and do whatever. Or do you have certain
Yeah.
practices that you can do to spark something?
Yeah, it's either gonna be at that moment I might just, hey, I'm gonna go hang out a little bit, or my favorite thing to do when it comes to music is like how Wayne used to go off on everybody kind of record, like remixes and stuff like
Mm,
that. I'll find song that's trending, or I'll find something that come in my head. If it's a trending song, say a hook already on there or whatever. That just helps me exercise with my, with my word
yeah.
play. So stuff like that, exercising like that, and end up me writing a whole another song.
That's the same thing with being an artist. I feel like even in terms of increasing your skill, choosing those people that whose artistry you respect and trying to use their artwork as a jumping off point for what
Mm,
you're about to create, it's going to let you know where you're at in terms of your skill level, whether you can match, creating something that matches the initial inspiration that you got from them. It's gonna boost you. It's gonna boost you. It's gonna teach you some things about how you should be creating whatever medium it is. Again, more collaboration, building off the backs of giants.
big fast, man. Cause I feel like as an artist, I've been doing it since I say over 50, about 15 years or whatever. So one thing I've learned a lot about myself and my artistry, and I reincarnated myself with different, because if it was like, okay, this artist, whatever artist I started with, that name evolved to another name. It's all different phases of my artistry. So it's like I recently just heard a record, and one thing I feel like I'm good with is taking a song and flipping the whole song from what the original person, like their cadence and how it sounded. Like I can make a song not even sound like the original song. Like I'm not just taking from it, but it's like um I'm able to change the whole like flow of the what the song really original sounded like. Like I'm not
Yeah,
just gonna remix it. I'm gonna remix it. I'm gonna turn it inside out like a t-shirt and
yeah,
make it something else.
yeah. That's true
Mm-hmm.
artistry right there. Do you just write music as well, or do you write music, or do you also make beats as well?
I'm strictly just I do music and I can engineer a little bit, but beats takes a lot of time, like mixing and mastering. So it's like I'm one of them people where it's like I wish I did learn like back then to make beats, but my patience was like I'm ready to record music. But then when you look at it from a business perspective, you would want to own your beats, because now if I got to deal with somebody that makes a beat, that's their crowd. I
Mm,
gotta pay exclusive prices for that. Or when you want to be in the industry or do business, you can get sued for stuff like that, like somebody coming and taking your work. The song can be hot, the lyrics can be good, but you're gonna have to owe somebody something for that. So
yeah.
it's like try to be strictly all the way independent, like get everything done, or at least have an in-house producer.
Ooh, yeah. That's hard.
Yeah, that
Try to
business is
do that.
crazy.
Yeah, I get that. Even getting into the legal matters of basing your work off of inspiration from someone else, I feel like that's a whole another story, a whole another animal to deal with. And I'm
Right,
sure it's a bit different in music than it is in visual arts, because a lot of times in visual arts, I'm still drawing the pieces from scratch. Even if I'm looking at
right,
someone drawing, I'm still every line, every bit of color is still coming straight from me. Uh,
right.
but when it comes to music, I couldn't even speak on that too heavy because I'm not fully in there. But it
Yeah,
seems like a process that just takes a team really.
yeah. I felt when you said, running yourself thin, because in music you have to have a team. I feel like uh I mean, I've did a lot of stuff by myself. I've built a lot, but then if I was just had that team, like it makes a big difference to collaborate with loyal people, and you all on one accordance, and everybody's bringing something to the table. When you're trying to do it yourself, it's like you got to be the artist, you got to be the person that promote yourself. You got to be the person to do all this at one time. Like,
Yeah. Very true.
all right, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you too much longer, brother. I don't know what's going on with this, but I definitely got to make sure I get these out. So, what is your favorite creation and why? You chose that one in particular.
Damn. I'm not gonna lie. This series of sculptures I'm working on is one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of just the presence I feel like this piece had for me. The work that I put into it, the responses I get from people. But I have a self portrait that I did a couple years back. It's been one of my favorites as well. Honestly, it's probably one of my best paintings. I wish I had it down here right now, but I can send you a picture a little later. But it really let me sit with myself, both skill wise and mentally. I was able to really pick apart who exactly I was painting, what it was that person stand for, who that person was. And I'd say even through all that, those two pieces were great. Like the sculpture and the painting were great, but I think my biggest art project, my biggest creation is the sculpting of myself, becoming the person that I feel like I need to be to have the successes that I want. However I define my success, the breaking of habits, the addition of good habits and good virtues, being pious, learning to control certain emotions and to really feel them without having to act out because of them, transmuting those emotions into something constructive and beautiful. That all comes from me having a handle on who I am as a person, and me trying to act out the person that I see for myself in my head. So yeah, that's an ongoing project. So like I said, I'm going to be a lifelong learner. So
right,
I don't think that's ever going to end. But that I would say that last one, that third one, myself is my most prized project. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. I highly respect, like you keep reiterating, like yourself. Like that's a lot of things I feel like most people are missing, is to tap into themselves. There's so many distractions out here, just to lead people further away from who they are.
Yeah.
It's like once you figure out yourself, you like basically mastered.
Yeah.
You mastered yourself, But it's like when you trying to figure yourself out, you go through so many phases, and it's like some people get it later than others. Some people figure it out early, and it's just really how you go from there,
Yeah, I was talking to a wise spiritual woman yesterday, older lady. She told me, it's funny enough, she's doing a seminar on learning who you are, actually, on Sunday. But she was telling me that if you don't know who you are, you can get all the information in the world, and all those things will just be poison to you.
Confess.
You know who you are, what your purpose is, what your stand are, what your principles are. It's just a lot of random shit. It doesn't really mean nothing. It's gonna cause harm to you, detriment. It's gonna waste your time if you don't know who you are. And that stuck with me really hard. And I think people should take more time to journal to themselves, more time to really figure out what it is that they have on their minds. Once you put what you have on your mind on paper, it makes it a bit more real, makes you sit with it, makes you really think on you're going, whether you're going the direction that you need to be going, whether you're going the direction you want to be going, whether you're leaving the impact that you want to have. So I think it's important being able to. I think everyone needs to have like life notebooks, you know,
Right.
just documenting what they've been feeling, how they've been acting, how they see the world, and being able to go back into that, going back to the things that you wrote yesterday, and see the progress that you have in your mental journeys.
Right.
It's a wild thing, man. It's beautiful because you see the progress a lot of times. Hopefully, if you're making progress, you see that progress. A lot of times for me, I'll go back to something I wrote and I'll think, like, why the hell was I thinking like that? I might do a single line across, and then I'll write my new way of thinking under it. Like, nah, this is what it is, you know. And that to me feels like an accomplishment.
Nah, big facts. It's major. Like when you sit here and when you do discover yourself and you sit like, man, like, I wouldn't say that, you're really searching in a way like you don't really know what you want to be or want to do. It's like you like got an idea of it, but it's more so getting yourself to that place where you want to be at,
Yeah. It's a journey, man.
Yeah. For real.
You
So
gotta be in it for the long haul.
yeah, that's just like it's not an overnight thing. It's molding itself like a sculpture day by day.
Exactly. There were some artists who did a lot of marble sculptures. They would say that they would see the slab of marble and they could see what's supposed to be underneath, what God's left in that marble. So it's day by day chipping away till you get into that form that you want to see for yourself. It's not all gonna come in one day.
Yeah.
And one strike of the hammer. You gotta keep going at it, little by little. Staying consistent.
They gotta go through different forms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And every form has a beauty in it. Every form has something you're supposed to learn. Every form, every stage has importance. You can't just get to that end step. There's something that you're going through in this stage in your life that you're going to need for the next stage. So the next stage will be easier. So
that's the gym, right? That's the gym right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely.
So, who are some of your top influential artists that you wouldn't mind your work being compared to?
Ooh. I'm saying one of my early favorites was Paper Frank. Paper Frank is at the time while I was looking at his work, mostly I was seeing a lot of Copic marker pieces, acrylic pieces, but he has this cartoon-like series that really feels like it encapsulates his experiences being told through these characters that he's created. So it feels like a bit of storytelling within his work. The colors to me are amazing. There's an artist named James Jean. His immaculate ass artist, and I take big inspiration from the forms that he creates and the juxtaposition of colors, and just his technique is so clean. So James Jean, Paper Frank, Caravaggio, he's like one of those older Renaissance time artists. He has these very dark scened paintings. I think he does something called tenebroso, I believe is the name of the technique. It's like, has to do with the way light hits and the darkness around it. Raking light, if you know any art terms, was heavy in some of his pieces. Who else? And outside of music, outside of painting, good storytellers. Nas has been a favorite rapper of mine since I was in elementary school, middle school. Kanye, his collaboration, his use of samples his playfulness. I would say Lupe, just the amount of information he has.
Oh yeah, Lupe, man.
Man,
Oh man.
he's on one. He's
You
definitely on.
named artists that give substance. I just you were saying Nas,
Yeah,
Kanye, Lupe, all
yeah,
those give you substance.
yeah, they do. But
That's
yeah,
good stimulation for the mind when you listening to that.
always. It's like I think early on, I was always kind of looking for like what it is that we're here for, you know. So I've always been like the kind of keep to myself. I'm a watcher. I was be watching shit, just watching how people move, how people react, how people talk to each other, and I'm just wondering like, what's the purpose of any of this? I'm a kid just in my head on the school bus. It's like I don't really want to talk to nobody. I don't feel like I don't want to talk about the same shit y'all want to talk about. So it's those artists who I would have in my headphones, and I'll kind of just learn about the world through their storytelling. So those like I say those three, and you got to throw Common in there. Those four are
Oh
really
yeah, most
Common was
definitely.
heavy for me too. I'm not gonna lie,
Hmm.
he was on one as well. Those four were my first favorite artists. So those were my first favorite artists before I had even visual artist favorites.
Yeah.
Was those four artists. So I would like to be able to create something that has substance like those artists, or whether it be visual or audio or whatever. But I think being able to, and this is something I've learned recently, live life and enjoy life is something that I felt like I was almost missing out on in a sense because I was trying to be so serious about, having everything be so full of substance. So letting go of that sometimes as well is going to help inform that later on too. You got to have some balance, And for that, like I like artists like Big Crit.
Oh yeah.
You listen to Big Crit, but he be having those deep, soulful, introspective songs. But he have those club bangers too. Talking like he likes strippers just as much as the next dude, type thing. So I fuck with that as well. I do like some balance. I do like some balance. I love substance, but I need you know.
Yeah, balance is important. Like, but it's just like, growing up with music having substance, it's like I can't break away from that. Like I like, some of the new artists that come out, but then it's just like, you know, I'm used to hearing lyricism or something to get from it. I'm listening to the beat too now, but I don't want to just hear the song and just be like, the beat was hard. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, those beats be making the whole song sometimes, and I'm not mad at it. But shit, yeah, having everything, having the whole package, that's really where it's at. We done froze up again, huh? Oh, we done froze up. That's okay.
all right, yeah, hold on, let me see. But, all right, man. Let me I ain't gonna hold you too long, man. I don't know how much
Yeah.
time I got left. It's like, oh man. But so like, what are some of your memorable moments though? And also with you having the exhibitions, locally and international. Like, what's been your whole experience, man? Any memorable times?
I'd say a couple most memorable recent moments. Last year, putting together a show with some of my favorite peers. we did an exhibition called the Aboriginal Museum with I think me, 5 other artists, and curator Ray, artist Mark Kedrick, Sab, Bess, Ron. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Am I missing anybody? Mark Kedrick, Bess, Sab, Ron. Oh, Montez. Yeah, it was a good group. You know, artists who I really fuck with, whose work I've seen, whose headspace I very much vibe with, and I feel like connects to how I like to think and how I like to move. Creating something beautiful with the people that you feel connected to, and the world, the audience, the community feeling that. That was a great experience. And besides that, when I was in Nigeria for 2021, that was the most memorable, non-thinking ass thing that I've done in a long time. You know, kind of just moved based off intuition, based off of just a feeling. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't know how long I was gonna be there, but got down there, my return flight ticket, and I just started moving, being introduced to people. Ended up being mentored by an older artist by the name of Gabriel Kulemi. I don't know if you're familiar with Fela Kuti, but Gabriel Kulemi was the artist who did more than half of his album covers. So he's a legend within his own right. He took me in his art studio and let me create with him, alongside him, which opened me up to the possibility of putting together my first solo art exhibition. So I was able. Okay.
Yeah, I'm bad, bro. If I ever pop off though, I can still hear you, bro. You can just keep going. It'll load me back in, but I can still hear everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying, that last most memorable moment was my trip to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Where I ended up just staying for 9 months. I was mentored by Gabriel Kulemi, an artistic legend within his own right. He was the creator of more than half of Fela Kuti's album covers. So he took me in, let me come into a studio, create alongside with him for a good 6-7 months, which gave me the opportunity to put together my first solo exhibition. So within being able to stay in his studio, he introduced me to the right people, got me into the right spaces to talk publicly about my work, and I put together my first solo art exhibition. And the fact that I was able to put that together in my place of birth, when I had never shown there before, and me just making that happen off the strength of me moving how I want to move, man, the type of confidence and motivation that gave me to push forward, I think I couldn't have gotten that anywhere else.
Nah, that's dope. That's definitely dope. Like you say, just to be like, where you from to it, that, to go back and do that at home.
Man, it felt powerful. It felt very powerful.
All right, so we back, man. Any shout outs or recognitions you would like to give to those that been in your corner supporting UGO fine artists?
Ooh, sure. Of course, my family. My family has been great moral support. They really believe in the work I'm doing. Of course, I should say God first, but God's in everything, so it's all there. My close friends who don't get upset at me when I disappear for a while. I got to work on what I got to work on, but still show up as much as they can when I put something together. My peers, my brothers, curators like Rayfield Lewis, who was the first person to open up his studio to me, to allow me to just create there. Homies Mark Kedrick, M.A., artists who are immaculate painters who motivate me. You know, having brothers in arms like that, I'm like, there's no way I can fail if I just keep moving forward. You know, and the women in my life that have really helped keep me up in all the ways that they can, whether being familiar or, you know, romantic type of partners. They've helped give me something to fight for and to strive for as well. The muses that I create with, definitely. So I say women have a big section of thanks on my end. I think they're one of the most beautiful creations that God has put on this earth. So
big fat.
I'm definitely able to draw from the energy they gave me. Yeah. Ooh, that's my site. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta update that shit right now.
Yeah, just want to make sure I share.
Those are some of my muse-based pieces. Actually, that one on the far left, that's a good friend of mine, Chloe. She's a definite shout out I got to give. She's been a great supporter of my artistry and a beautiful muse for me as well as other artists. Cherie, that's on the right, another beautiful muse, beautiful person, healing spirit. And the middle, that's another muse that's been a recurring figure within my work as well. Her name is Sky, and she's been just a beautiful person to connect with. But there'll be more up there soon. You got a few different series on there on that site. Some of my photography, do a bit of nature photography. I like clouds a lot. I like being heavenly. I thinking of divine spaces. So that's what you got there. Yeah, that's a bit more of an abstract series for the last one. Oh yeah.
So I'll check them out. UGOFineArts.com.
Yeah, and there'll be new art posted on there soon. Like I said, I haven't updated that site in just a little while, but all those prints are available. Some of those originals are also available. And of course, I always take commissions for new pieces, whether it be personal portraits or just ideas that come to you that you want to flesh out. You know, I'm here for that.
Also, how do you price the commissions when you do? What do you base it off?
Complication. How complicated it is, how big the piece is going to be, and what you're going to use it for sometimes as well. Like if you're about to have me create something that you want to end up using for like an album cover or a book cover, because I've done a bit of both of those things as well. The pricing for that is going to be a little bit different than the price for just like a portrait commission.
Even with that being said, like how, you know, when you was faced with any obstacles, which I noticed probably wasn't like all smooth on the journey, but like when faced with hurdles, like how you was able to persevere?
Allow myself to be sad, I think, is important. Allow myself to let whatever's affecting me affect me and feel those emotions. And being able to transmute those emotions, those feelings, those experiences into something that other people could learn from, that I could learn from, was really big. I'd say just having a belief in my own ability and what God's put in me keeps me in a space where I know that whatever I'm going through is not lasting. It's just a matter of time. If I know that I'm working towards getting myself up, being positive. And that's not to say that, you know, the only thing to do is be positive, because all the emotions are there for a reason. But just letting shit ride through and believing in the light on the other side, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. whatever the case may be.
Most definitely, bro. So I got last two more questions before it cut out, man. I feel like I'm getting shut down or something. Sometimes, like I say, we also, aside from bringing guests on, we like to enlighten, inform, and inspire the people too, with getting away from the distractions and kind of like, informative, what's going on aside from the like. It's a lot, man. We just give information, that we feel like our people, our culture, and generally don't pay attention to, that might be going on. Like, say for instance, hey, the Popeye chicken sandwich came out. Everybody focused and talking about the Popeye chicken sandwich, but then over here, they keep giving Ukraine $9 billion an hour.
Crazy, yeah. That's how it is. That's how it is.
So everybody can just be aware, like
Yeah.
So what does UGO the artist manifest for himself, before 2023 is out as an artist and an entrepreneur?
A body of work that I really believe in and that I want to continue pushing. I'm working on a few, but if I can get one really strong body that I feel like encapsulates a bit of the direction that I want to go to, maybe a collection of 25 to 35 pieces that look good together for another solo would be a big goal that I have. I'm also putting together a couple books of art with poetic reflections. I'm hoping to have that done within a few months, if not before, or one of them at least. So a book and a body of work that's ready for a solo exhibition are the two things that I feel like creatively I'm focused on at the moment.
Most definitely, brother. Like I say, man, it was definitely an honor to have you on the platform, man. Appreciate your patience, man. Appreciate the underdog story, the $1 million story, man.
Thank you.
Just keep doing what you're doing, staying consistent, and evolving as an artist.
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's no way I can't. So I appreciate you for having me on here. It's been a pleasure. It felt smooth, the conversation felt smooth, regardless of the buffering.
Yeah, nah, but definitely, yeah. When I actually put put the interview out on YouTube and stuff, I'm gonna make sure I sit down and edit it. I know a lot of edits I'm gonna have to do, but the good thing is, I guess when it did go out, you kind of pause, so which I can just easily clip out. But yeah, man, it definitely was an honor. Like I say, keep changing people's lives, man. That's definitely what you're doing. You're servicing people.
Wow. Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Last but not least, before we get you out of here, man, like, what does the word underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Ooh, somebody who is a lot of times working in the dark. You can be working in public too, but like working in the dark and believing in what they're gonna bring out. People don't see all the work that they're putting in. They don't see the full picture, so they don't really know what they should be putting their belief in. They don't really know all this person is doing to bring out something beautiful for the world to consume. So an underdog, I think, is someone who, regardless of what people think about the place he is currently, keeps at it until he's ready to blow up and show the world what he's got.
Most definitely, man. There y'all have it, man. So y'all head over to UGOFineArts.com.
Yep, UGO Fine Arts, or my IG, UGO_Gore, UGO_AGORUAH, or UGO_Fine Arts on IG as well. A couple pages there. But or Google me, you'll find me.
Straight up, Google me, man. That's how we doing it over here, man. This was season 4, episode 17. Make the Unseen Scene, featuring Nigerian American artists based in Atlanta. Ugo or Gore, you feel me?
Sir, yes,
Straight
sir.
up. Found the Ugo Fine Arts, man. For real.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
My pleasure. Good being here, man.
So
Catch
easy.
you. Yes, sir.
Mouth rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened. Check, I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see